Hello, makeup lover, and welcome to my channel. Oh, welcome back if you've already been here before. If not, my name is Malene. I'm a Danish makeup artist living in Barcelona in Spain. For today's two different looks, I pulled out my stuff from Armani Beauty. And for me, the Armani Beauty line is kind of new. I know it's not new, but for me, it's new. I never got anything from that line. It never really spoke to me, but two items in November, December changed that. So today I made these two different looks. And if you want to see how I did it, then keep watching because I will show you. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to tell me what you think about when you hear the name Armani Beauty, or if you have any Armani Beauty products and you want to tell me what you think about it and why you like it or don't like it, then let me know in the comment box. And of course, if you like videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. It would be awesome to have you join. Now, let's go ahead and do some makeup, shall we? Starting out with a highlighting shade, and I am using the 67S. It's a really sparkling shade. I even think it's called Sparkle. And I am going to use my flat definer for that. And I just tapped a little bit on my hand, and from that, I dipped my flat definer into that. So it's going to be very, very gentle and subtle. Then a little bit of 30M Cedar. This is just my go-to shade. I love this also for just an everyday natural look. And now I'm looking down to find my brush, my worker brush that is from the Fusion series. And I am just gonna tap, or you could say press that shadow onto my skin here, and it will also make it blend out. It's a lovely, lovely beige, kind of cool tone color, but when you blend it out, the brown comes out. So it's a pretty shade. And I am just using the same movement here, going all the way out here. And if I do any mistakes, it's okay because I did not put on my foundation yet, so I can just clean it up. That's one of the advantages of doing the eyes before the face. Taking the same color and now putting it on the outer part of my mobile eyelid. I just want to connect it to the upper part here. And then I'm going to use the same brush, the worker from the from the Fusion line, because it's a fusion between artificial hairs and natural hairs. So it's genius for these kinds of shadows. So now it's laid on. Dip my Builder S into the Eyes to Kill Stellar in the color Eclipse. And I am just going to put that on here on the outer part of my mobile eyelid. And the reason for me using, I'm just going to go up here just a tiny little bit. The reason for me to use a smaller brush here is because the smaller the brush, the bigger the precision, or the better the precision, or however you want to say that, you know what I mean. So I'm just laying that color on, darkening it up. It's supposed to be a bronzy, dark brown. No, maybe not dark brown, but a bronzy kind of color. I'm just mixing that into the previous, the eye tint shadow. This is it says something with a bouncy high pigmented. I'm just going to read bouncy high pigment eye color. What a description for an eyeshadow, huh? Going in with the newest addition to the family, and this is a color 8, and then it has a name, and that's Flannel. It's a grayish purple golden lovely shadow. I don't know how to describe this color anymore, but it was just I couldn't help myself when I saw this. It looked so beautiful, so I just knew I needed it and had to add it to my collection. It's like also like a dusty rosy light pink color. It's shimmery, hence the S in the end of the, or after the number 8S. So beautiful, blended into the previous color. The Wava brush 322, it's for the brow or an eyeliner, and I'm dipping it into the Ebony, the 99M eye tint, and I'm going to use that as an eyeliner here, and I'm going to go as close to the lash line as I can. I'm more or less rubbing it in the lash line here. Gonna make it a little bit smoky so it's not like black, like the blackest of black, because it can be super black if you wanted to, but I can also smoke it out a little bit. And then I'm gonna try and make some kind of wing. I'm just gonna dip into the color again on my hand before it dries completely down. And I am just gonna follow the shape of my eye here. Back with a little bit of mascara on, and for this task I use the Lash Latex from Yves Saint Laurent. Now I am gonna put on some concealer under the eye so I can finish up this look. I put on 2 dots of the Haus Labs and 2 dots of the Natasha Denona, because the Haus Labs is a little bit light for me, and the Natasha Denona is a perfect mix for that. So I am now gonna blend it out, and I'm using my LC01 Refer brush for that task. And I am just going to go all the way up to the makeup here. And here I'm just gonna go back and forth to make the lines sharp here between the concealer and the makeup. And down here I am just gonna tap where there is a little bit of darkness or shadow, I should say. I'm just gonna go back and forth here and tap and go into this part that can also be a little bit dark. And I'm just working the product in ever so gently. And I let it dry a little bit before I started to blend it out like I am doing now. You could just leave the bottom part with no shadow, but sometimes I just prefer to just define it a little bit. So I'm going in with the 30M Cedar. And then I am going to use my Builder S brush to blend that out a little bit. And I'm just going to go back and forth here. So I just feel like when I do this, it just defines the eye a little bit more. Well, at least for my eye shape. Each to their own. Back and forth. I want to lighten up the inner corner, so I put on some 67S on my Builder S brush, and I'm just going to tap that gently here in the inner corner. Back with some mascara on the under eye, and now I am gonna go on to the next eye. For the second look, I'm also gonna start out with the sparkle shade under my brow here, and I'm just using the Builder S for that task. For the second eye, I'm gonna use the color 68S, and this is the shade, I think it's called Tobacco. I'm gonna keep that here in the outer part of my eyelid, and then I'm just gonna basically use my finger and tap it into the skin here. I'm just using my ring finger because I have been told that the ring finger is the finger on the hand that has the least strength or power when you use it like this. Can you say power? And now I am just gonna go into the inner corner here almost. And it was the same shade. And I am just gonna do the same thing. Gonna tap it out. Whoops. Never mind. It's gonna be okay. It's just makeup. And then I am gonna move my way into the middle. I can see that I need a little bit more on the outer part here. So I'm just gonna work with that here. And I think that's it. Then I'm gonna go in with my new color here, the flannel number 8S. And I put that in the middle, and I am just gonna tap. Of course, I removed the tobacco from my ring finger, and then I am gonna go into the color again here in the middle, and I am just gonna tap that till it more or less dries down. I put on a little bit of the Lash Latex mascara on the upper lashes and a couple of dots of the concealer and let them dry, and now I am gonna work them out. And as you can probably see on the video here, it looks like I have a little bit of shadow here, but I really don't. It's my skin and the shadow that falls on the eye, so I'm just gonna lighten that up a little bit by bringing the concealer up here, because I did not put on any eyeshadow on this part of the eye. So I'm just gonna lighten that up just a tad bit here, and then I'm gonna continue to blend out the concealer as I did on the other eye with tapping motions with the LC01. And I'm basically mixing the colors together and just blending it out. A little sparkle for the inner corner for this one too, with the Builder S brush from Sonia G. And here you see the second eye look, now with a little bit of mascara on the under eye. I'm now going to zoom you out and put on some foundation. And now for the foundation, and for the first time on video and for the second time in real life, I am gonna use the Luminous Silk from Armani in the color 4.5, and I am using the LC03 brush from Refer. And I never tried this foundation before. Well, I tried it yesterday when it came in the mail, but apart from that, this is my first time. And the first thing I noticed that was a little bit like, oh, that was the smell. It is so perfumey. And I was very surprised about that. I know that like Giorgio Armani, apart from being a designer brand, it's like a fragrance brand, and they have had fragrance for many, many years. But why put so much from fragrance in a foundation? I do not get that. But yesterday when I tried it out, I really, really liked it. It reminded me a little bit of the Haus Lab foundation that I love so much. I'm just looking in the mirror now to check. Um, and I like that it's fairly natural, and it has this beautiful glowy skin-like finish. I really like that about this foundation. I'm just gonna see if I'm gonna need some more. I've used like almost a pump. I took it out on my hand. Now I'm just gonna go around my nose, as you can see here. I think I'm gonna need a little bit more to cover this redness around my mouth. So I'm just gonna reach for it and just gonna put a little bit on my hand. And then from my hand, I am just gonna take my ring finger, and don't worry, there's no eyeshadow left on that. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on here where I am red, tap that on here. And then work with my brush. I'm sorry for keep showing you my mirror. It's just I can't see if I don't have that here when I'm putting on the foundation in my whole face. I'm gonna try and put a little bit on my pigmentation here. Hyperpigmentation or sun damage probably. Let's see here if that, yeah, a little bit there. So I think this is about it for the foundation. Now I'm gonna try their cheek tint, and I chose the color Flaming Red. So it's super, super red. And I put it on my hand. I'm just gonna show you here so you can see, super red. And I'm gonna use my LC02 brush from Refer, and I'm just basically gonna go like this to really work the color into the brush before I put it on my skin. So when I'm doing that, I'm just gonna, well, oh, I'm a little bit scared, but let's see. I'm gonna start with the more dark side, the first side I did here. So I'm just gonna go here. I'm just trying to see where I place it here. I'm just gonna tap it on. I'm going a little bit up here, and then I'm going around. And you know, I think that as I think every woman should have a red lipstick, but not the same color red, I think every woman should have a red blush, because if you think about it, when we blush, like in real life with no makeup, we don't blush like in a light pink or orange color. It's our blood. So when we blush, we get a little warm and red. So red is a perfect blush tone. So now I have like really gone crazy. And I'm just gonna see, maybe I should, do I dare? Do I dare to do the dot thing? Can I, is it, maybe not, maybe, well, you only live once. So I'm just gonna place a couple of dots here. One, two. Oh, I hope it's not too much, but let's find out. So now I'm just gonna go in with that same brush. Oh, holy moly. Holy guacamole. That was a little lot. That was like, but good thing we can always tone it down with a little bit of foundation or with a little bit of powder, or maybe both. I went a little crazy. Maybe I should just have fun, even though it says don't put on your eyes. Well, I'm not putting it on my eyes. I am just mixing it into my eye area here, just to blend it up. Holy, yeah, that sure packs a punch. But you learn from your mistakes. I want to use some finishing powder, so I'm gonna powder my under eye here so I can set the concealer. And then I am just gonna tap a little bit here on the blush. Not that I feel like it's too much, but it's just so I can use the finishing powder here also, and it's not gonna really catch onto the finishing powder if it's a little bit wet. So, by the way, the powder I'm using is Easy Bake from Huda Beauty in the color Cherry Blossom. I pulled out my Hourglass Ambient Light palette and my Hourglass double-ended brush for that task. And to begin with, I did the smaller end into the lightest color, and I'm just gonna run that here on my nose as a highlighter here. And then I am gonna use that also here on my cheekbones. And then I basically took, like, I don't know if I can show you here. I'm just holding the mirror, and this is a little complicated. Okay, here you see it. So I'm just going back and forth here. And then I am just going in all over my face here to give it a little bit of light and to make it less powdery and dry to look at. So this is basically it. Now I need some lipstick. And now with a little bit of lipstick on of Rouge Coco Shine from Janelle, and it's a color called Cavalier. But don't look for that because I'm very sure that it's long gone already. So these are the two different looks using mostly Armani makeup. And as you can see, the blush did not turn out so bad after all. It was not so crazy as it could be, or as it might have looked in the beginning. But yes, Armani. When you think about Armani Beauty, you think about like subtle and beautiful and like, I would say soft looks. But you can make it a little bit darker and a little bit more pow if you want to. Or you can make it very soft and beautiful and nice and subtle for a day friendly look. So these were my two different looks and trying out Armani foundation on the video. And as I said, this is my first time using it, like in general. And I was very surprised about the perfume in it. I think it's a little much for a foundation because it's almost like a scented body lotion. Well, to me at least, but my nose is very sensitive to smells, so maybe that's it. But this is it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to tell me what you think about the new foundation from Armani or Armani Beauty in general, please let me know in the comment box. And of course, if you like videos like this, subscribe to my channel. It would be so awesome to have you join. Now, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.